Hello everyone, and let's talk about mods and how they relate to PC gaming. So this comes on the heels of really two major things that have happened within the modding community. The first of which was Take-Two Interactive's cease and desist order that they issued for Open4. If you don't know what Open4 was, Open4 was a modding tool for GTA 5, which allowed the loading of mods, or it made it easier certainly to load and manage mods in Grand Theft Auto 5. They have since let up, but the fact that they did issue a sort of cease and desist order to the creator of the mod tool was a huge blow for GTA 5. They did claim initially that it was harming the online service, although Open4 does not work in GTA Online. It only works in the single player, but they have since kind of relented and allowed Open4 to continue. And the second thing is Bethesda announcing that mods are going to be available as another form of DLC. Fallout and Skyrim. Remember, there's another edition of Skyrim. Skyrim, the 74th edition, is coming out. Skyrim VR and Skyrim on Switch are coming. So they keep seeming to remake those two games. Fallout 4 VR is also coming, which you have to pay for again. Full price as well. I was like, nah. They ain't gonna do that. So they're introducing Skyrim did have paid mods at one point, which failed miserably, but they are introducing certain mods as DLC, and they are looking to monetize mods again. So why is this a bad thing for PC gaming? One of the great benefits of PC gaming is that games can be modified. Okay, games they're not open. Some games are open source, but very few games are at least open to it. Some games include things like map editors and things, modding tools. I remember like games like Warcraft 3 always included like the Warcraft 3 editor. The Unreal games, Unreal Tournament games always included access to a map editor, and the developers actively encouraged modding communities to form, and we saw amazing things created with those games. I mean, GTA 5 had some amazing mods. I remember going around playing as Iron Man, which was pretty cool. You could fly around the city and things like that. You could play the whole game underwater, and it was like you could have dinosaur attacks and some cool, crazy stuff like that. Bear in mind that modders generally, the good modders at least, the ones that create the best mods, eventually go on to become sort of game developers themselves. And some mods, look at the amount of games, look at the most popular games that are available on PC today. A lot of them started out as mods. Counter-Strike, again, started life as a mod. The entire MOBA genre owes its existence to mods. It started out as a Warcraft 3 mod. It was Defense of the Ancients, which was a Warcraft 3 map, which kind of kickstarted the whole MOBA genre. You've got League of Legends as a spiritual successor to that. Dota 2, obviously, is Defense of the Ancients 2. So it sprung up the whole MOBA genre, and also those zombie survival shooters that you see everywhere. Again, DayZ was one of the first major games like that. Again, was an Arma 2 mod. Started life as a mod and made its way into a whole game. Counter-Strike and Dota 2 are two of Valve's biggest games right now. And they started life as mods. And you look at Valve's approach to mods and modders, they generally get hired for Valve. I mean, look at that. Counter-Strike, Dota 2, you know, they were made. Left 4 Dead apparently started out as a mod as well. And of course the whole zombie survival runabout, survive with the thirst meters and things like that. I've never saw the appeal of those games personally, but again, those started out as mods. Even PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which is kind of a popular FPS shooter, multiplayer shooter, should we say. Again, that started out life as a mod as well. So by discouraging modders and modding, are we really doing the sort of next generation of game developers a disservice? I mean, you could argue that we've seen some really crappy games. We opened up Steam, there was Steam Greenlight, which has since gone. now, but that got opened up to game developers. But at least the thing about mods is they're not trying to sell you the game. At least you can view a mod, you can rate it, you can, good mods get promoted, which I think is a nice idea. That way only the best mods kind of and the best modders kind of rise to the top, whereas with Greenlight it was just a complete mess, really, because people bought votes and things like that. Whereas with modding, at least, you can try out a game, you can work within an established game engine as well, and, generally you're gonna get sort of the best modders have gone on to become sort of full-time game developers. So I think discouraging mods, it's a huge detraction. And then you've got other mods. You've got other mods like, the guy that fixed Dark Souls, for example. Dark Souls on PC was a disaster, and you got one guy, I can't remember his name, but he fixed Dark Souls completely, got it running at 1080p resolution, got it running at a better frame rate, had added better FOV sliders and things like that. And then you've got things like Nier Automata. We had the Fix Automata Resolution, FAR as it was called. That was a mod. So modders do a really good service for the community. And all PC games should encourage modding. And modding should be free, essentially. Modding should be something that you do to experiment with, I think. It's a good idea. You get good ideas. The best ideas, again, get pushed to the top, and the worst ideas, that kind of fail and they don't get, to see the light of day. And at least they're not charging you for the bad ideas. And you say, oh, well, it doesn't work. Fair enough. It's no harm, no foul, essentially. So the encouragement of mods, it's great for things like older games as well. I mean, the amount of games that are unplayable currently on sort of modern operating systems, and then, you get a small team of modders that come along and, fix bugs and add new content to games. I mean, the gameplay footage that you're looking at is Black Mesa, which is a mod for Half-Life 2 mod, essentially. It's a source engine mod, which basically recreated the original Half-Life in the source engine. I mean, that took years to make, and they did actually sell this mod, but it was a total conversion of Half-Life 1 completely in the source engine. So it's basically, I mean, companies will charge you for HD remakes, and they charge you full price for HD remakes. So I don't have a problem with, someone who's done a full game remake charging you for the mod. Again, they got Valve's permission. Valve are usually fairly good with these kinds of things, and they sell Black Mesa on Steam. I don't think it requires. It used to require the Source SDK 2007 that used to require, but I don't think it requires that anymore. But anyway, you can download it for free now. You used to have to own a Valve game, so it's not really an issue there with that. But I like things like that. I mean, things like that, total conversions of games, preserving older games. Again, we talk about this with emulation. It's not about piracy. It's not about modding games. It's not about hacking games. It's not about cheating online modding. It's about, breathing new life into old games and preserving those old games and making sure we can run them on modern operating systems. We can run them on modern game engines if necessary, totally convert old games and have them run on modern game engines. It does open up the huge amount of possibilities, and to restrict that feels a step backwards. It feels like a huge step backwards for games. Because what happens in, 10, 15 years time, someone wants to play Grand Theft Auto 5 and it doesn't play on Windows 47.2, then, what do you do? Who are you going to turn to? You're not going to turn to the original developers. They're not going to give a shit. They're going to be promoting GTA 12 or something like that. They're going to want you to pre-order the latest GTA game. They're not going to give a shit about their previous game, really. You got to turn to modders and the modding communities to do this. So mods do provide, I think, an essential service for PC gaming. And should they be on consoles? Yes, I think they should. I thought Sony's decision to be so restrictive with Fallout 4 and Skyrim mods is a bit stupid, really, because You know, again, mods can improve, although you are kind of restricted. You can't have like graphical enhancements and things like that to console games. They can't be total conversions. They just have to be things that kind of add little things, make improvements to the game as well, make improvements to, like, the user interface and things like that. They can't have, you know, total graphic conversion mods like we have on the PC for Skyrim and Fallout. But anyway, that's my opinion on mods. I think that they're an essential part of PC gaming and should be preserved, certainly, for the future. And that is all for this video, so thank you for joining me. I will see you again soon, and goodbye.